Hi, this is Chatboxing. I'm Sean, and I just want to talk a little bit about this situation with Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, and Bermaine Stiverne. Very, very disappointing news that the fight has been cancelled. WBC pulled the plug on it. Been on the cards though for a while. I mean, this isn't something new. This is, I don't know when this first happened, but since then it's been quite unlikely the fight was going to go ahead. But it's officially cancelled now, so it's very disappointing. Luis Ortiz, very, very disappointed in him. You know, he's got an opportunity. I mean, he's been talking for a while about how he's been ducked. Nobody wants to fight him. He's been doing a lot of whinging. He gets this opportunity. He's also got himself into a mandatory position. Now he gets a voluntary shot as well against someone he's been, dismissing and talking down on for quite a long time. And then this happens. Now he's saying that it's for like blood pressure, and I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, generally speaking, I don't like to talk that much about PEDs. I tend to stay out of it, and the reason being is that I don't really know that much about it. I'm not a journalist. I don't come on here every day reporting the news. I don't make any money out of this. I'm not someone who dedicates that much time to it. I don't really have that much time. I just come on here making videos when I feel like I've got something interesting to say. So I don't feel I have any obligation really to research this stuff thoroughly and give you like a proper journalistic analysis of it. That's not what I'm doing. So that's why I stay away from it, generally speaking. But in this instance, I feel like I can quite safely say that Luis Ortiz has got himself and his team to blame for this. Now, the form is very clear. You have to state if you're taking any medication. To be honest with you, he should have really done that anyway, but it's on the form. He hasn't done that. Now this has come up and he's saying, it's because of this. And I mean, this could have if it was a genuine mistake, if it was just genuine like incompetence and basically stupidity on behalf of him and his team, then it could have very easily been avoided. And like, how much sympathy can you have, especially with the history that he has? You'd think that someone who's been in trouble with something in the past should be more aware of like trying to make sure that they don't get put in that position again. So that's one thing. If it's not that, then the other alternative is that he is up to no good, and this is something he was doing as a masking agent. I mean, he's got previous, doesn't he? And he is, let's be honest, about 45 years old. So it's not that hard to believe that is the case. So he is what he is. I think he's, in terms of where he goes from now, he's still, as far as I'm aware, the WBA mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Now, I don't know if this is going to be affected because they don't know if they can prove that he's been on. I'm not quite sure how it works, but there's a potential that he'll lose his WBA mandatory. If not, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely lost a lot of goodwill that he had from boxing fans around the world with this. People are now pretty much everyone that apart from a few people who, think that there's some sort of conspiracy that, Al Heyman and George Bush, Deontay Wilder are getting together, doing like blood ritual sacrifices, and do you know what I mean? Whatever. But like generally speaking, most people blame Luis Ortiz for this. They think that he's fucked up, and people now, I think, have just kind of lost patience with him. And he's old as well, and he's dangerous. So, I don't really see where he goes. I mean, Eddie Hearn has basically said that he thinks he should be banned now. So, I can't see that many people in Britain particularly having that much sympathy. In terms of he's going to fight Anthony Joshua, I think people will generally just think, fuck him. Most people. Well, we'll see what happens with that. In terms of Deontay Wilder, I do feel sorry for Deontay Wilder. I mean, he's had a lot of stick in the past. People have criticised him a lot. I've criticised him quite a lot. I think most of the criticism, or at least a lot of the criticism, has been justified. Some of it's been a bit over the top. But I think in this case, you've got to feel bad for him because people have been like, myself, for example, I've made videos about him saying that I didn't really respect him as a champion. He's not really taking on any tough challenges. His reign as a WBC champion has been pathetic, and I stand by that. But I do believe that he's going in the right direction. He's trying to turn all that around. And I think this was a very positive step for him, taking on a fight that everybody wanted to see, that everybody thought he had a good chance of losing. People either thought, some people thought he was going to win easily, some people thought he was going to lose easily, but most people thought it was a very tough fight. So that is what he's trying to do. So I feel it's bad for him. I feel like he's trying to answer his critics, he's trying to prove himself, and this opportunity now has, gone down the toilet. So his fight with Bermaine Stiverne, against Wilder is of no interest really to anyone, not even Deontay Wilder. Bermaine Stiverne seems like an odd character to me whenever I see him interviewed. I've seen him a few times on Bayloric TV, and he just seems to me like he talks absolute rubbish. When he's talking about the fight, he's never given Wilder any credit for that fight. He's very deluded, really, in terms of how he sees it. Now, I remember watching the fight. I thought Wilder was going to win. I thought, stylistically, I thought it was going to be not an easy fight, because I didn't know if Wilder, he obviously hadn't gone 12 rounds, hadn't seen him box intelligently and use his brain and use his kind of physical advantages. Well, I've seen him use his physical advantages, but not in terms of his height, reach, movement, boxing off the back foot. And he did that very well, and that's what I thought he'd be able to do against Bermaine Stiverne. But at the time, Bermaine Stiverne, a lot of people picked him to beat Wilder. They thought he was a tough opponent. Obviously, he's a decent puncher. He was much better than anyone he fought before then. But I never really rated him, and my opinion certainly hasn't changed since then. What really can we say about the fight? The only thing really that's interesting about it to me is that there's a bit of needle there, and they don't like each other. Bermaine Stiverne seems to really dislike Wilder. That's the only thing really that makes it interesting. It is what it is now, isn't it? It's been mandated, the fight has to happen. I don't think that many people are going to really tune into it. Boxing fans watch it, I watch boxing generally, but it's not a fight. It's not a fight I would stay in for. Do you know what I mean? If I had something better to do, and the fact that it's on in America, I definitely won't be staying up to watch it. I just watch it the next day. Bermaine Stiverne has fought once since then. Has he got any better? Presumably not, because he's only fought once. Last time he fought was like 1985 or something. So you'd think he's going to go in there and he's going to have the same problems in the last one. He's going to be too short, too slow on his feet, and he's not really going to be able to sort of get past the physical advantages that Wilder has. Wilder's got a good jab, but he wants to use it. We know he's got a very good straight right hand. He's quick on his feet for his size, and he's a lot taller with much better reach. So I just see it going the same way. As I say, Stiverne at least doesn't like him. Wilder doesn't like him. So that is what it is. Wilder, in terms of since that fight, because that was a very good performance against Stiverne, since then, has he got much better? I don't really think so. I'd say one improvement. I'd say he's got yes and no. I'd say he's got worse in one sense, in the fact that his hand now is potentially damaged. He's broken it quite a few times. Don't know if he still can throw it with the same intent and the same sort of aggression that he used to have. So that potentially he's got worse. Maybe we don't know. We don't know how his hand's going to hold up. He can knock Stiverne out. Stiverne, so what you like about him, he's as tough as old boots. So could Wilder damage his hand again, hitting him? Is he going to really want to, give him these big wild haymakers? Maybe not. One thing I would say that Wilder has got a lot better in, I'd say, is his ring IQ. He's got a bit more patient. Now, there's been a couple of times where he's really set people up quite nicely, like the Spilker knockout. Now, he was losing that fight, but he kind of gave away a little bit, looking for that big punch, and he set it up really nicely. He is quite underrated, I think, in terms of his sneakiness. It wasn't just like some lucky wild swing. It wasn't like he was getting, out boxing. He just swung a big like wild right hand. No, he set it up nicely, and Spill could jump in, boom, like double impact, took him out. I mean, he was vicious. He was out for a long time. Against Gerald Washington, he was using his brain a bit more, because Washington was obviously tall. He had like a long reach as well. And Wilder, I don't know if it was because of the hand that he damaged it, or because he was just starting to get a bit more cautious. But he seemed to me like he was using his brain a little bit more, and he wasn't just sort of wildly coming in and just swinging for the fences. He was actually trying to set things up. So, yeah, Luis Ortiz. I mean, you've basically like fucked yourself, mate. I mean, as I say, people saying this is some kind of conspiracy against it. I mean, if anyone's got any evidence, then fair enough. But until I see some substantial evidence, then I'm just going to have to assume that isn't the case. Deontay Wilder, Bermaine Stiverne is what it is. I'd much rather have seen the Dillian Whyte fight. It's a shame they just didn't make that. Obviously, we didn't know that now. We didn't know that at the time this was going to happen. Can't blame him for trying to fight Ortiz instead of Dillian Whyte. But in hindsight, if only that fight had been made, then we'd have something to look forward to. But yeah, Wilder will beat Stiverne again easily, and then hopefully move on to bigger and better things. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say really about that for now. So let me know what you lot think, and thank you very much for watching.